So, to present myself, I'm Lina Kassem. I come from Lebanon. My mom is Ukrainian, so I'm a mix of Ukrainian Lebanese. I grew up in Lebanon, studied there, worked there. I studied English literature, did a master's there, and was working first in a school as a teacher, then in management, in media. And then I decided to move to Germany when I was 29. And to start officially with media and marketing. And I came to Germany to do the master's at the SDI, and I finished in June. And I wrote my master thesis with Professor Henzler and Mr. Kotovic. I did the specialization with project management. And now we decided to start with this community, and I'm happy to start with that and open the conversation. So today my topic is about storytelling in digital media. Now some of you maybe might be wondering why we chose this topic. It's because I wrote my master thesis on this topic. And before we go into the details of the master topic and the other slides, maybe you can look at the table of content, so just to know what you expect today. So what you can expect, of course, the conversation about storytelling in digital media. We will start with the definition, then a little bit short background about the research that I did. She's writing, for example, about storytelling. Maybe she can benefit from that as well. And then in general, the evolution of storytelling in different media. Then a little bit from work experience as well, because we are all doing this DMM or whatever we're studying to have it later on in practice. And so I would just like to show as well how it helped me and how I'm applying this in the workplace. Then also about cross-media, so how we distribute content on different channels. It was very interesting what you posted what you reposted on LinkedIn with the poster, like how we can post on TikTok, on YouTube, what kind of video I should post. Should it be different? Should it be the same? So it would be good to also discuss that as well. Then some key findings based on my research and based on also experience of what makes a good story in content. Then a little bit about science, so what it does to our brain, why we all love stories, and in the end, because I wanted to include also people who don't study DMM or have nothing to do with marketing, and so that they can also get some insights. And of course, at the end, we will have a Q&A. So feel free to jump in, to say something. It has to be a conversation, not a lecture. So to start with, this is just dictionary definition, the activity of writing, telling, or reading stories. Now, when I first saw this definition, I thought that there's something missing in it, because right now in our digital age, we're not only writing, telling, or reading, but we're also watching. So storytelling is being shown to us. And what is different maybe from the previous times is that, for example, we were hearing stories, or our ancestors, because now we're living in the digital age, hearing stories or writing, and then came the video, and then we were watching stories. So we're going to look at this evolution and the emergence of transmedia, what we call it now, of how we combine in a film, for example, or in a video. When we're watching, we're seeing something motion picture, we're reading sometimes captions or subtitles, we are listening to an audio, so it's a very mixed experience of storytelling. And now to the research. This was in June. I hope that all of you come very close to this day. It was one of the best days, of course, in my life. It was not a very long process, but it was really intensive as I was writing my thesis because I wanted to finish fast, start working. It took me around 5 months or something. So my topic was about storytelling in employer branding. How did I come to this topic? Because in one of my seminar arbeits, I did something about inclusion and diversity, so this rainbow washing during Pride Month, etc. So I wanted to include something related to inclusion and diversity. And then I thought, okay, maybe I should do a case study or take a specific brand that I can talk about in the thesis. And then, of course, when you say storytelling, you can think of Apple with Steve Jobs. And also as a brand, how they always convey their messages, their product releases, everything with storytelling. And then what I did was I had 3 different sections. So storytelling as an employer branding tool, because the video that I was analyzing, it was an employer branding video. So Apple was basically showing in 2 minutes how diverse they are, how inclusive. So if you can imagine the video, that it had a lot of different nationalities, as we are here today. You can see many different skin colors, languages. Hello, Sabrina. And the way that I did it was a content analysis of the video. Then how I analyzed the video was in 3 ways. First, I used something called scene dissection. So I dissected I used Adobe Premiere with AI to cut the video into many different pieces. So every shot that was there was cut. And then I analyzed that according to different criteria. So it was pages and pages, taking every screenshot, seeing what's available in each scene, and then analyzing it, of course. Then I also did semi-structured interviews with people from diverse backgrounds to know what they think also of the video. And at the end, I came up with a checklist, so based on the analysis, of course, and the research, checklist of what a good employer branding video would be. And those were the key findings. I'm not going to go a lot into detail of each finding, but for those interested, I can also share the master thesis with you later, or the presentation also is also on my LinkedIn, so you can also download it from there. These were the criteria that I used in analyzing each single shot of the video, in order to have a certain criteria about, so for example, the duration, how long a video should be, or the location, where was the video shot, is it all indoors, outdoors, etc. Then the artifacts, this was related to John Eder's clock of character, so that I could analyze the story in the video. Then, of course, the characters, the sound design, if it had music in the background, someone was speaking, did it have voiceover, action, what's happening in the video, symbols and symptoms as well are related to the clock of character. Then the flow of the scenes, it was really fascinating because sometimes I couldn't see or realize that this was important, but then some of the people who I interviewed pointed that out, that we saw, for example, people praying in a mosque, and then the next scene was 2 men in an hugging affectionately. So yeah, it was somehow contrast of beliefs. So it was really interesting. Then the authenticity. Some people, for example, asked me, who are these people in the video? They could be all actors. While Apple at the beginning of the video said that these are 68 employees who show who we are. So people wanted to see names, where they work, etc. Then the personas, the favorite topic of course. I had to include that. And then at the end, of course, diversity and inclusion, because this was the main theme or topic of the video. Yeah. Okay, so this is why I'm talking about storytelling, and this is why I have something to say this evening, because I did a lot of research on this topic. Okay, now I want you to take out your phones and look at your screen time, please. Oh. It's embarrassing. I know mine is as well. You can see 4 hours.
I'm not looking because I know it.
You know, I know it. But I want you to look because I want to ask like another question.
Ah, okay. Sure.
If you don't want to share how much time, then you don't have to, only if you want to. But I think it would be interesting. So you go on iPhone, you go to settings, in the 4th section, there should be something called screen time. Or you simply write it in the search. Anything surprising?
You want to know weekly or daily today?
Well, let's say weekly. So we have an average. I shared mine here, but it's this week. Okay. So here are the step settings. Then you scroll down to screen time, and then you have weekly or daily.
What's that happening?
Then I went. So I clicked on the weeks to see which apps I'm using most. Okay, anyone wants to share their time?
3 hours, 5 minutes.
Okay, better than mine. Yeah?
5 hours.
5 hours?
1 hour, 22 minutes.
Ah, very good. 11 hours?
Yeah.
What? Wow, okay. We need to know which apps.
Yeah, but
YouTube.
Okay.
My favorite.
5.
YouTube and Telegram.
35 minutes. Anybody less than that? 35 minutes.
No,
34.
Proof of concept. How
Wow.
to manipulate your screen time.
that's so
Oh, the secret is to use more of the
I have 6:27.
Yeah. Okay. So the point about this question was is that we all spend hours and hours on the screen consuming content, sometimes maybe watching or coming across storytelling as well, and maybe staying longer there because we care about this story or whatever it is. And another thing that I wanted you to look at is the apps that you are using mostly. So for me it's 3 hours on WhatsApp because I need to talk to all family and friends, and then also on Instagram 2 hours. Yeah, TikTok 50 minutes, YouTube 50 minutes, and you can see here also these timers because I put like a time limit because I was using it a lot more than that. So yeah. So the point about it is that we're consuming a lot of content. And now we see different here social media channels as well. There's Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And obviously I'm consuming different content on each channel because it's not all the same. It could be similar, but not all the same. And then of course it's not only that, it's also on the laptop. I use mostly the LinkedIn, it's not here. But all these different channels, we see different type of content. And now we're going to look a little bit at how I used like what I learned in my studies and from experience in the workplace. So how I applied that as an example. No, sorry, I skipped one. There's one section. Okay, before we, I just wanted to mention the evolution, how storytelling evolved through the time. So from the Iliad to Spotify, so from ancient Greece to now having it everywhere.
Today I talked to Bruna. Bruna Mitchell she's writing her master thesis now about data storytelling and using an example from Spotify, how to make visual narratives with Spotify. She will finish in December, and if anyone is interested in contacting her, and we will probably have some session in March or April about that.
Super, thank you. And then from cave walls, which are, I think, 64,000 years old, to wall posts. This was the first Instagram post from Kevin, one of the founders of Instagram. And then comes written storytelling, of course. It was written on tablets, and we're still in tablets, but different kind of tablets now. Okay, I think I got a bit mixed up with the parts, but it's okay. And so we mentioned the oral, the written, and the, what was the third one?
Visual.
The visual, thank you. Yeah. And now, what about now? So what do we have now? What is different? As I mentioned in the beginning, is the emergence of the video and the motion that we have. And we're now using that, of course, to transmit or portray a story. Now let's look at some examples. For example, this is an old image from a photographer called Henry Cartier-Bresson, and it's called Man Jumping the Puddle. So this is kind of visual storytelling. Maybe someone can, I don't know, tell what was the point of this image? If you just look at it before I tell you what he meant. Yeah?
Well, this is it's a very famous photographer, and what he did, he would capture he would call it like I don't know if the exact moment or the special moment. All his photography is about capturing that moment. Like, for example, here, exactly when the guy jumps over the water, and this was the automatic in his worker, the Haupt.
Amazing, you got it. Yeah, so he called this image as the decisive moment, and of course, yeah, it was related to photography, about capturing the moment, and he kind of also portrayed that like into how we live also our lives, like everything has a decisive moment as well. And this was in 1930. Then we started to have audio as well. This is one of the most popular podcasts, and it's called This American Life. It, so not surprisingly, but it tells the stories of American people. And it's one of the most popular podcasts worldwide. And you can guess why, because we as people, we are curious and we like to hear other people's stories, maybe to resonate with them, to learn from them for different purposes. So this is how you can see like how important storytelling is, not only in audio, also in images, etc. And this was the first video ever taken in 1895 by the Lumiere brothers. They just recorded a video, workers, it's called Workers Leaving the Lumiere Factory, at an industrial meeting in Paris. And then this is how it started. It also has an audio as well, so here we had the mix of the motion picture and as well as the audio, even though nothing was said, but from the audio you can hear what is happening there, so people walking by, a dog, whatever, So this sound, and it kind of transmits you to this place. So when you're looking at it, hearing it, with those audio visual tools, you are kind of transmitted to this place. And here's how transmedia started. And this is an example of a project that we did with Professor Henzler. We did it as a group, and it was related to cross-media storytelling. So we decided to talk about Munich, because we were from how many countries, Viviana, in the class?
5 at least.
No, more.
More.
Yeah, I think 11 or something.
11
because we did the map as well for this project. Yeah, so each one of us was coming from a different country, and we all had our perceptions of Munich, and we wanted to show this perception from different media types. So we divided ourselves into groups. One did blog posts, so it was written. Then someone did, like a group did a video, like this touristic videos that you can see on YouTube. It was really cool. And then my group was, and Viviana was also, Sabrina, you were with the TikTok, no?
No, the written one.
Ah, the written one, yeah. Marina?
Video.
The video, yeah. So we have all the groups here. And yeah, we were doing the TikTok, and then each one of us chose one place in Munich, and then we did a short TikTok video about that. And this brings us to the topic again of cross-media. So most often, if you already work in marketing, or you will be working later on in marketing, you will come across at work that the content team asks you, hey, we have this article, can you make a video out of it? Or, I don't know, a post on LinkedIn about it, or on Instagram. Because if you have an article, obviously you're not going to share it on TikTok as a link, and that's it. So you have to repurpose this content, create something new to tell the story, of course taking in mind that the audience is different on each channel. The people who are using TikTok have different expectations when they are on TikTok than when they are on LinkedIn, for example. So taking all these in mind. And this was one of the first experiences that we had, like to really focus on just one topic and then tell it in a different way. It was really a great project. And yeah, the website is down here, and this was a short reel that we shared. Maybe you have seen it on the Instagram page of SDI. So Franziska is a photographer, and then she asked me, I want a video for Instagram that would tell about me. So then, of course, how can you tell the story of a photographer on Instagram with, of course, a video, a reel, in this case.
Photos, yeah, and then.
Photos she's already posting, like from her portfolio, etc. But she wants it about me. She don't want to be like, hey, I'm the best photographer in the world, or in Munich, take pictures with me. So you have to kind of sell it in a smart way. Let's watch the reel. And I did the video with her for my portfolio. So, yeah.
Servus, ich bin Franziska, eure Familienfotografin aus München. Meine Mama hat früher immer die Momente für mich festgehalten, und heute bin ich unglaublich dankbar, wenn ich sie anschaue, um zu sehen, welche Erlebnisse ich in meiner Kindheit hatte und welche Menschen mich begleitet und geprägt haben. Genau das möchte ich auch anderen Familien ermöglichen, dass ihr mit euren Kindern auch irgendwann euer Familienalbum anschauen könnt und seht, was hat euch ausgemacht, wer hat euch begleitet und wie seid ihr als Familie zueinander gestanden und welche Abenteuer habt ihr zusammen erlebt. Das fängt, finde ich, schon an, wenn sich ein Paar dafür entscheidet, den Weg zusammenzugehen, und geht dann natürlich weiter, wenn ihr ein Baby erwartet und das auch in der Welt willkommen heißt. Es kommt in eurer Familie an, und anschließend erlebt ihr so viel Abenteuer und Meilensteine mit euren mich das lieben lassen, was ich tue und die mich auch immer wieder dankbar stimmen, dass ich das tun darf, nämlich eure Familiengeschichte weiterzuschreiben. Jede Familiengeschichte.
Oh.
It was not supposed to cut off. But then we found out that Instagram has a limit of 1.5 minutes. Only after like finishing editing
The whole
the
video.
Yeah. It was just like a few seconds that were cut out. So this is also one thing to think about when you're creating content, and which we obviously missed. How long you can post. Yeah.
One day we are in the messages as well.
Yeah, happens with the audio messages on
to find that out.
Instagram. Yeah. You're speaking, and then because you can only send 59 seconds as a voice message on Instagram.
WhatsApp as well.
Yeah. But nevertheless, maybe not everyone watched it till the end. We have some good numbers here. It was not bad. And then she pinned it, of course, in her profile. And as you can see, she tells more about what it means to her to be a photographer. I wanted to ask, shall we maybe...
I think they don't feel
they don't feel very excited about it. But I just wanted to tell one point about it. For those who don't know what this is, the limbic map is...
You will learn.
Oh yes, definitely.
Who can explain it? Who's the remembers?
I forgot. No.
It's imprinted.
Sure, exactly. It's imprinted every day working with it.
Framed in your room, probably.
No, but it's your presentation in the place.
Yeah. So the main point about it is that you know your audience, the expectations, the purpose of the video, what you want people to do after watching the video, and this is why you always need to think about the person who's going to be watching that, and then also the channel, and to simply make someone care.
Lina, now tell the truth. Did you really use it? You can tell the truth.
I did. We are not studying anymore.
You don't have any marks anymore. Now you can say, did you really remember it, or did it help you? Or you said, well, it's nice to have it as a, let's say, in the background, but you don't think at it.
I thought that I would not use it, but then one of my first tasks when I came into this job was to redo their social media strategy. And then they wanted to explore different channels, and of course different channels means different audience. So the people who are watching TikTok, let's say, they are not the same ones that are on LinkedIn, and especially for such product and such a company. So I really had to think about the personas, what feelings they're going to have, what purpose we want out of each channel. So one of the suggested things were to have an Instagram for employer branding, and also to target the students, the group of students that we had, because they are mostly on Instagram and maybe not on LinkedIn. And so I did use it. Anybody else?
But it's so I didn't use it directly on my thesis, but I remember reading articles where they were studying how people were reacting towards the AI generated images. They were using the limbic map to trace those emotions, I mean, to place them. It's a very important tool.
I guess if you're working in marketing, if you're doing something with customers directly to try to sell an idea or a product, you have to work with it, because you have to get to know your customer. You have to.
So this was a product placement for the actual students.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we are using right now the limbic map. We are placing you in the spot. But if like, for example, I have to be honest, I haven't used it because I don't work in marketing. I work with Buchhaltung and contracts, so I haven't used it. But
maybe in the back of your mind you can.
Yeah, I still place my numbers there into the limbic map. But if you are in the branch, in the branch, sorry.
Okay.
It applies even when you're selling yourself in a job interview. You need to know who you're talking to. And how you're gonna please the interviewer.
You're right.
You should keep it in the back of your mind.
You're right, but I
How
didn't
to
use it. But right, yeah,
Make them like you.
Exactly, that's a very good tip. That's a very good tip.
Yeah, well, it's how
I haven't thought
it's
about
based
it.
on also on neurological studies. It's not like someone went and just drew the, no?
Because when you are
it's
in a
based on a lot of
percentage
research.
You're selling
Yeah.
yourself.
exactly, you're telling your story. It's
You
but
need
you
to know
have
how
to
to-
place how to tell your story in which side of the
To
Olympic
be
map.
able to
Yeah, what do you want to appeal?
swim it.
So yeah, I'm going to stop here. Yeah, it was. What it was.